Hi, you guys. I decided to do a video instead because my inbox is getting blown up. I have over 100 messages of people asking me what happened to my 2-year engagement. And I figured a video would just kind of help clarify. So for you to really understand our whole relationship, I'm going to rewind the clock. Jeff and I were originally Facebook friends. He always commented, was always kind of like leaving comments and in my DM, and I was always staying. I would keep my distance, and I wouldn't really play into his DMs and his messages and his comments because he wasn't a type of guy that I normally would like to date. And when I mean that by looks wise, career wise, so forth. I already had kind of like, you know, was like, I'm never gonna date any more bodybuilders, and I kind of gave that up in 2012, and stayed single for about 5 years. And then 2017, I started dating. Wow, they kind of like 2016, 2017. For some reason, just doctors like me. So I always end up dating doctors. Anywhere from like neurosurgeons, spine surgeons. It doesn't even matter. But anyways, doctors. So I was actually seeing a doctor when I finally met Jeff, which was 2 years ago in person. And by the way, I'm not going to use his last name because I want to go graphic detail on this, and I just don't think putting his last name out there is beneficial for him. So, anyways, so we connected in Vegas, and I was already seeing a doctor. When I say seeing, I mean like we're just going on dates. We're getting to know each other. Like we had a great relationship so far. But Jeff did some things in Vegas that I was kind of like blown away. I was like, wow, this guy is a gentleman. Like he's like old school gentleman. And that's one of the biggest traits that I look for in a man is if he's a gentleman or not, how he treats a woman out in public. So Jeff had kind of checked off like all those things on the gentleman part list. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should really give this guy a try because he's in fitness. The doctor and I, he doesn't really do fitness. He works out, but not like we did. We have a past of both competitors, so forth. So I was like, I'll give him a try. So I actually called the guy I was seeing, and I said, listen, I met someone, and we've been friends for a few years. I'm gonna try it out, and I appreciate if you don't call me anymore. No hard feelings. This is what I feel like would be more beneficial. So it was really, really fast. Jeff literally said within 3 weeks later, like, I want you to be my girlfriend. So I wasn't really expecting that. I was just hoping that we could just kind of get to know each other and be friends for like all my relationships, literally friends for years before we date. But I sat him down. I said, okay, there's some things I need to tell you before you make that decision if you want me as your girlfriend. And so I went over my past completely, from all the way till I can remember. So I told him, where I was from, how I was raised, in which I was raised amazing. I had a great parents. I couldn't ask for better parents. But I told him that, I did Playboy, I did nude shoots, I did nude, more like flexing videos and stuff like that. Nothing masturbation. I never did any masturbation. Never did any porn. Well, some people might want to consider being naked and posing is porn, but I don't consider. To me, porn is like physical contact with another male or another female doing sexual things. But so I told him that. I told him what I was doing for a living. That I was going back to school. Well, I was already in school. I took the summer off, so I was actually reapplying to a new university. Well, that was my plan. And I said, this is, work comes first. It always will, because I'm about money, and when I say I'm all about money, it means that I take care of myself for a very long time, and my biggest goal has always been to be a millionaire or multimillionaire on my own, kind of like self-made in a sense. So I told him, I said, work's always going to be number one. And if you date me, you're going to work around my work schedule. So if you and I have plans, I'm not going to dump you and go to work. But if we don't have plans and work comes up, I'm going to be working. And at that time, when I met Jeff, I was making around $300,000 a year, which was the most I've ever made in my entire life. Okay. And everybody knows, I'm an entrepreneur, so I have my hands in so many honey pockets. Literally all legal, of course. I don't do anything illegal, nothing illegal. But I've always been like that. I look at 20 different ways to make money, and I do it, and I make it happen. I live in an amazing luxury apartment. I like luxury things, and everything I buy myself. You know what I mean? My cars, from where I live to the clothes I have to the perfumes, to everything I get on my own, and I'm very proud of that because that's how my dad made me a hard worker, and I'm a very independent person. So I kind of told Jeff right off the bat, and I said, listen, everything a man can do, I can do. Like I could change my own tire, I can change my own, my own brakes, I could change my oil, I can paint walls, I could put sheetrock in, I could put flooring in, I could put carpet in, I can tile, I can grout, I could do everything. Literally everything. The only thing I never tried is plumbing and electrical work, which if I took classes, I could be self-taught, right? I've self-taught my entire life with everything I've ever done. So I said, so if I know how to do everything a man does, and I can sexually please myself faster than any man can, well, besides two of exes, but we're not gonna get into that. Anyways, if I could do that, and if I, like, what do I need you for? Pretty much, like, that's how I look at it. Like, if I could do everything a man can do, I can get myself out faster than I can. I can pleasure myself better. I'm happy being alone, going to sleep alone. Like, what do I need you for? So you have to bring something in my life that's beneficial. I have money, so I don't need that, right? I had a career. I had a job. I was working toward my career. I was going back to get my master's degree. And I told him all these things. These are my goals. So if you don't like any of these, then you can't be with me. So anyways, he said, fine. I'm good with it. I love the fact that you're intelligent and you're smart and you're you're career driven and you want to further your education and all this stuff. So he was like all set. And I said, I'm not going to change for nobody. Like, this is my goals. These are my goals I had before you. And I already told myself that I was going to stay single and just be friends with guys until I could figure out maybe down the road after school, hey, one of these guy friends end up being one of, like, guys that I dated or end up being someone I can actually be with, right? So I kind of like swore off men already because I feel like every time I get in a relationship, it just like disrupts my goals immediately because I always kind of like put the guy first. My entire life, I put men first over my goals. My entire life, and it's totally fucked up everything. Even though I was able to still get 3 degrees, but come on, I'm in 30s, and and I don't even have my master's degree, so it's kind of disappointing, right? So I was like, I'm not putting no fucking guy ever again in front of my goals. Like, either you work with me with my goals, or you let me do my goals alone. Simple. He said, okay, no problem. And then 3 months later, he proposed. I was shocked. Like, we talked about the future and like, would I want to get married and would I want to have kids and all these things, and we talked about it, but I was not expecting that. And when he proposed, I was in shock, and he was shaking and he was sweating, and I was like, oh my God. If I say no, this guy's gonna get devastated. But if I say yes, it'll be okay, because that way I could prolong the engagement, like extend it to like the end of the year or something. Like, okay, well, we all say yes, but we are gonna take it slow, before marriage. So I said yes, and shortly after that, oh, it's pouring rain outside. Shortly after that, there was an incident. He was he was amazing, okay? Those 3 months was like heaven. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I've never found someone so fucking amazing. Like, I'm telling you, like, everything that you could check off on a list, he did it, okay? And I think it was like right after the engagement, we're having popcorn. He's like, oh, I'll go make popcorn. He's like, okay. And we're watching a movie. I went to go make popcorn, and the microwave just suddenly, when I pushed the button to start, it just turned off. And I was like, that's weird. Something's wrong with your microwave. And he's like, nothing was fucking wrong with it. So he started to get a little attitude. And I was like, what's your problem? And he's like, what did you do in my microwave? I'm like, I didn't do anything in your microwave. I put the popcorn in. And he goes, you got to fucking do something. And now he's like getting in my face. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, bro, you live in an old ass apartment. It's probably like an old microwave. I didn't do anything. And he's like, you fucking did something. And I'm like, and when he got on my face and he put his finger like this close, I was so scared. I just kind of like, usually I snap off when people talk back to me, and I've never been scared of any man I've ever dated. Half the time I knock them on their ass if they touched me. But I was physically scared because remember, Jeff is twice as big as me, okay? He's like 6 foot and, 270 pounds, I think, at that time. And here I am, 130 at 5'3". So I was very scared. And he was just screaming. And I was like, what's the problem? Like, you literally just went off the wall. And he's like, you fucking broke my fucking microwave. And I'm like, dude, it's a rental. You're living in a rental. They'll replace it. And first of all, I didn't. And I was like, I pushed the button to push start. And he goes, see, I fucking told you did something. I'm like, I pushed the start button. So I knew by being in previous violent relationships what to do when you are threatened or you feel threatened. I backed away and I apologized and I left into the bedroom. And I was like, I'm going to slowly pack my stuff while he's in there like fiddling around with that shit. Just like get my shit ready. And he comes in there. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to pack to leave because I don't feel comfortable right now. And he like put his hands on the wall when I tried to walk out of the bedroom. And he's like, you ain't fucking going nowhere. You gotta fucking sit here and we're gonna talk about this shit. And I'm like, I don't talk to people that are, and he's raising his voice so loud, like, I'm telling you, we're gonna fucking stay right here. Like that loud. So I was like, no matter how pissed I am, I never raise my voice above a certain level in a relationship. Because when you start to yell, people emotionally shut down, or they get defensive, or they get angry, or you know what I mean? It doesn't work. I've taken psychology classes. It doesn't work. I was in couples counseling with my ex-fiance. It doesn't work. So when I saw that he was gonna let me go, I suddenly backed away. I said, okay, no problem. We'll sit and talk, And I'm like, which we end up just going to bed. And I pretended in the morning that everything was good. Hey, I love you. Okay, I'll text you when I get home because he lives in 3 states over. So, it takes like 3.5 hour drive. As I'm going home, I don't remember if I texted him as I was going home or when I got home, but pretty much we're done. It's over. I said, I don't let anybody ever put me, and by the way, you guys, before that even, when I went to bed that night, I text 3 friends, 1 guy friend and 2 girlfriends, saying, if you don't ever hear from me again, Jeff killed me. Like, that's how fucking scared I was. And I never get scared. I'm a fucking mean bitch, man. I know how to fight. I used to do MMA. Like, I know how to fight. And for someone to instill fear into me, you had to do something, because that never happens. I'll fight any bitch, any guy. I don't give a fuck the size. But that guy made it seem like he was gonna kill me. And he has a big long knife by his bed, and he has weapons, right? So it was very, very scary. So I text my friends saying, and they're like, what the fuck's happening? I said, I can't talk. I'm just letting you know, if you don't hear from me tomorrow, you know who did it. So I get home, I break up with him. We're broken up for like a week or 2, I can't remember. And he sends me a video of himself bawling, crying. Like, I love you, I fucked up, I would never talk to you like that again, this and that, and, you're my wife to be, and da-da-da-da, and all this stuff. And seeing a man cry shows me that he's showing a side that he doesn't show to the world, especially someone as alpha male I thought he was alpha male, but as much as alpha male he pretends to be, I was like floored. I was like, wow, this guy is showing me a side that you don't see. So I took him back like a retard. So I took him back. Things did not get better, but he didn't really act out that violent ever again. He would raise his voice, and that's about it. But it wasn't to the point where he got in my face again, and felt like I was getting threatened. He did threaten me many times, all the time, all the time. If you fucking cheat on me, I'll kill you. I'll have someone kill you. Don't ever fucking cheat on me like that. So, first of all, like, people can throw those threats at me all day long. I'm not a cheater. I don't cheat. The only time I've ever cheated is when they cheated on me. And I did that once. Once in my relationship, I've ever done that. And it was just pretty much to be vindictive, to get back at them, which never makes the relationship better. But anyways, live and learn, right? So, so after that, I meet his business partner, and I shortly go in for a surgery, which is a clitoplexy. It's pretty much for women that have competed in the past. The private part gets enlarged, and I went to reduce my clitoris back to normal. And that sounds crazy. Like, you guys are like, what? So yes, I got a surgery down there to reduce it back to normal because it was enlarged and I didn't like the way it looked. Jeff said he didn't tell his business partner what I was going in surgery for, but he said, Christy's going in for surgery in, LA, we're gonna go there. His business partner tells him, right, like shortly after, oh, why is Christy going in and getting her pussy surgery? Because I think her pussy looks good. How would he know what my pussy looks like? Well, the guy looked me up, and he was looking at my nude pictures, which I find very fucking weird that your business partner is looking at nude photos of me. So I told Jeff this. I'm like, don't you find that a little bit fucking strange? Like, it's almost like he's jealous of our relationship. And he's like, no, he's just looking out for me. My friends don't look up any guys that I date. Never have. I thought that was really fucking weird. But anyway, so automatically don't like his business partner. So I send a really fucked up text message, pretty much being like, go fuck yourself. If you want him, you can have him. It sounds like you're gay and you want to suck his dick. And I think that's so weird that you looked me up. Like, I said, and he told Jeff too. He's like, like she's done Playboy, right? And she did muscle worship sessions and da-da-da-da-da. And Jeff's like, I know her entire past. She told me everything. Thank God I always do that with all my relationships, because the last thing I want is my man to find out the hard way through someone else. Like, oh, did you know, like, she's naked? Or, she did, like, sessions? You know what I mean? So I don't want a guy to ever find out that way. So I just tell everything from the very, can't talk, from the very beginning. You're probably wondering, just go back, you're probably wondering why I said yes, right? I mean, like I said, I was able to, push the wedding out, and it gives me time to get to know him. And he was truly like the perfect person. And I was like, I haven't found anything better than him. So despite of his looks, I can get over his looks and make this happen. So anyways, so after that happened, he later starts having really bad mood swings all the time. And he said I would do things that make him have mood swings. I'm just being me. So if I'm being myself and you're having mood swings off just me being me, then I ain't for you, right? But he would blame his mood swings on me. And I was like, one day I was like, you're literally like bipolar. And he goes, yeah, I've been diagnosed bipolar. What? I was like, what? You didn't tell me that, because I want to be honest, you guys. I've dated a guy that was bipolar in the past. He was an amazing person, but maybe not all of them, but the guy that I dated was so fucked up. He had PTSD and he is bipolar. I couldn't hang in that relationship more than 6 months. I got the fuck out. And the only reason I stayed with him that long is because I felt sorry for him, because he kept saying he was going to commit suicide, so I had to keep running to his house. So I was like, if Jeff had told me that from the very beginning, the day that we sat down to talk about a relationship, I would have been like, nope, not going to happen. I'm fucking out. I'm out this bitch. But he didn't. He didn't disclose that. So when he disclosed that, I was like, okay, everything makes sense now. But to be honest, the whole microwave incident, like I was like in love with this guy before the microwave incident. Like I was like, this is my world. Like these everything I've ever dreamed of. And after he instilled fear in me, I'll be honest, I had lost like any feelings I had for him. Like I was kind of like just instill fear kind of in me. And when you instill fear into someone, it's hard to love. I don't know if anybody's ever in that position, but it's hard, very hard. And yeah, so I felt completely different after the whole microwave incident. And I became, and now I'm not going to school because Jeff had mentioned, like, oh, now you're going to go to school. I'm never going to see you. You live across the other states. I barely see you now. And so I literally didn't go to school for the first year was because I gave up school to spend time with him. And I gave up a lot of work. So the second year, or I'm sorry, the first year that we were dating, I barely worked. I went from 300,000 down to like 100,000, and I was scrounging by. Like I was just paying my bills. That's it. Because he would come over and stay for like 5 to 7 days. I'm like, fuck, I need to work. And then as soon as he would stay, I'd only have like 2 days to work, and then I have to go to his place and stay there for 5 or 7 days. So I was like, and I never tried to stay that long because I wanted to get back because I wanted to work. So I'd usually stay like 3 to 4 days. I try to shorten it. So, fast forward all of this. After my surgery, which I mainly did it because, honestly, because our sex life was terrible. And I thought it was because of me. I was like insecure with myself down there that if I got this surgery, I wouldn't be insecure and our sex would be better. Long story short, that definitely did not happen. It actually got worse. So, and it's like, how did it get worse? Another concern he didn't have any friends. He didn't really have any friends. He had hardly like like 2 friends or something. That's what he told me, right? So I was kind of concerned about that. And he doesn't like his parents. He talks poorly about his dad and his mom, mostly about his dad, because I guess his dad used to whip him all the time when he's like younger. Like, fucking get over it. My dad whipped me too, because I was doing some shit, right? So, so as time goes fast forward, like he doesn't like to cuddle. He'd like push me off. Sometimes he'd get violent and push me off violently where I'd get hurt. Or one time he hit my mouth, which I have a picture of like my mouth bruised because he like hit me to like get me off of him. And we slept in separate beds. And as time goes on, and I was highly allergic to his dog, and he knew that. Like I go to an asthma attacks, like I would end up going to like emergency room. And he was very inconsiderate, and he still brought his dog, well knowing that I was extremely allergic. So I had to deal with that during the whole 2 years of like going into asthma attacks. I mean, that's the reason I had to give my dog away to one of my best friends, because I couldn't do it anymore. Come Christmas, this last Christmas, something changed because when I opened up my presents, they were not thought out at all. It was literally like he just bought off one website and that was it. And the year before, he really thought out gifts. Like making gifts with his hands and this and that. And I was like, okay, something's weird. He just like threw, like half of them weren't even wrapped. Like just very, here's your shit, kind of like. So that was that started. And there's other things that he had said during our relationship. Like, I remember one time he was just like talking about girls and fucking black guys, and he's just like, any chick that fucks, and he used the N word. He uses the N word quite often, which is weird because literally one of my friends drives him around because he doesn't have a license, and she's black. So, but anyway, so he. And I brought up many times, I'm like, you're not supposed to say that word. And He's just like, why not? Because they are niggers. You know, he would say the N word again. He's like, why not? They are. And I'm like, okay. Anyways, and he would say it like, not like joking. You know what I mean? Like one thing is like, oh, that's my nigga. No, it was like, you know, GGER, right? So all my friends come from all ethnicity backgrounds. If you guys don't know, you can look at my Instagram and see I have every fucking color, every race practically I'm friends with. And I love everybody. As long as they treat me good and treat other people good, you're fucking good in my book. You know what I mean? But anyways, so I noticed in January, sex became really bad. Like he would literally just fuck just to get himself off, and it would last maybe 2 to 3 minutes. And he would be like, once he gets us off, he would put his clothes back on and go in the living room and go to sleep. And he never you know, when I lay in bed with someone, I want to be naked with them. I want to cuddle. I want to be affectionate. I'm a very affectionate person, and I wasn't getting affection at all. Now, January rolls around, February rolls around, and things are getting just more and more distant. And in January, I came over to his place and I found a sex toy. That we never use sex toys, and he hated sex toys. Says if I can't get you off, then you know, that's fucked up to use a toy. Well, get me off then. You know what I mean? Like that's why I want to use toys and fucking when we have sex, because you're not getting me off. You know, I think sex toys are great, especially if the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Right? At least get off with a sex toy. I found one, so I was like, okay. And when I looked at it, you could tell it had been used. And it was one of those ones where it goes around his dick and it goes in his ass. Or her ass. I think it goes in his ass and wraps around the balls. I'm not sure. I just know it has a point on it, and then it has like a round thing, and I know the balls go in there. So I was like, okay, well, we never used that. So, and it was hidden in one of his drawers. So I was like, okay, we never used that. So I was like, okay, maybe, and I didn't want to bring it up because whenever I brought anything up, he would get really offensive and it would just start an argument. And honestly, I was already miserable in the relationship because he was constantly so moody, and I'm not a moody person. I'm always fucking happy-go-lucky. I'm the happiest-go-lucky. Ask all my friends. I'm happy-go-lucky all the time because I don't believe in being anything but happy. To me, if someone brings drama in my life, they're cut out. I don't care if I fucking known your ass for 5 years, 15 years. You bring any drama, you're out. Because I don't need it. I'm great without it. And I've been great without you, with all of them. You know what I mean? So if someone brings that shit in, I'm out. So that happened. And then in February, I was laying in bed and he was in the other room and I needed chapstick. So I thought maybe I was looking, he usually kept it on the counter next to his bed and I didn't see it. So I opened the drawer. When I opened the drawer, there was Viagra pills. I was like, oh, I didn't know he was taking Viagra with me. Which is weird because I thought Viagra makes you last a really long time. I didn't know you can come so fast on Viagra. But I kind of shrugged it off as like, okay, well, he's been using Viagra with me. Most bodybuilders usually do because steroids kill their dick, right? So I was like, whatever. And then I come back a month later, so now we're like in March or something, and I check. And we hadn't had sex. So from the February to like March, we didn't have sex. And so when I came back, I went into the same drawer and there was 2 pills missing. So I was like, okay, he's fucking someone else, right? I want to get emotional. So I was like, okay, he's definitely fucking someone else because there's a sex toy. He doesn't want to be affectionate with me anymore. Like, he's acting distant, you know, like you just know something's wrong. So I felt like he was cheating. Then comes a video someone sends me going, isn't this your man? And Jeff is at our mutual friend's houses. Chris and Christina, they're at his house. And there's just Chris, Christina, which are a couple, and then this ratchet white chick in underwear. Okay, she was in her underwear, shaking her ass, like twerking. They're like, you know, I found when Jeff was there, like running around, twerking, drinking, they're doing drugs and stuff. And I was like, oh, and someone had to show me that, like, that's embarrassing. So I waited till the end of the night, didn't say anything because I didn't want to ruin his time there. And I came and I texted him saying, I sent him the video, I said, I don't fucking appreciate this. I think this is rude and inconsiderate. Like, you're my fiance and you have girls running around in their fucking underwear twerking. To me, that's not cool. I hang out with guy friends and they keep all their clothes on and they sure the hell don't get in their fucking boxers and twerk or shake their dick in my house. Doesn't happen. If they did, they'd get kicked out immediately. First of all, they would never do that. My friends are sophisticated, educated people, so they don't do shit like that. So I told him, and he goes, oh, no, it's not like, he's like, don't worry, it's nothing like what you, and I was like, are you fucking this chick? And he's like, no, it's not like that. He's like, she's my client. Even worse, it's your fucking client? Okay, I have a coach for many years who turned me pro, okay, in women's physique, not bikini, because bikini doesn't count. But in women's physique, I came from a woman bodybuilder to women's physique, and he turned me fucking pro. Not once did I go party with my fucking coach, only after my show when I got my pro card. We partied. Not only that, I never got naked or down to my underwear with my coach. Never happened. My coach and I never hung out. We would meet at the gym, we'd train, and we'd go our separate ways. Every fucking time. Find it kind of weird that you're a personal trainer, nutritionist, whatever the fuck he wants to call himself, and you're with your client that's half naked. Okay, I brushed it off because I really believed in my heart he wouldn't cheat. Because he had made himself sound like he's just amazing, faithful person. And he gave me like this sob story about his past, how every girl's cheated on him, how every girl's used him. And so I really believed, because he'd been cheated on so many times, that he wouldn't do that to me. So I started like not really prying or not really paying attention, but I started noticing she kept liking all his photos. And then came a conversation, I think in April or May, I saw they had comment and they were planning a trip together, a camping trip together. And, which I thought that was weird. It's your client and you're going camping with your fucking client. It's a little weird, but okay. I hang out with guy friends, so I kind of like shove that off, right? I party with my guy friends. I sleep in their house in another room, like things like that. And Jeff knows all of that. I always would FaceTime him when I'm in another man's house or around another guy. I would FaceTime him. Always answers calls. Meanwhile, these months are passing by. He's never visited me here. And I'm only going there all the time. And his calling, he's still calling me baby, still saying I love you, I miss you, you're amazing, you're the best girlfriend ever. On text and on paper and all these cards that he sends me and these Post-it notes all the time. He's perfect person on paper and on text, amazing. But every time I'd see him in person, he was a distant person, like he was cheating. Like I felt it. With the sex toy and the Viagra, and now he's planning a fucking getaway with his client. So I told him, I sat him down and I said, we need to talk because I feel like things are not working out. And I said, sex is terrible. He agreed. And I said, something needs to be done. I said, so either you let me go, we go our separate ways, or you work it out. I said, right now I'm kind of on the urge of just going our separate ways. He begged, no, let's not go our separate ways. We could work through this. We're a team. Like, we could get through this, baby, this and that. So he was still pushing for a relationship on Viva text, okay? On emails. I got so many fucking emails and texts. So if he ever wants to come back and say none of that shit existed, I got it all, including all Instagram messages. I screenshot every single one of our Instagram messages. I screenshot all our text messages. I backed all that stuff up. Our emails are all backed up just in case if I ever need to use it. I got it, right? So we literally, so I knew the day that they were going on camping. And I said, who's going on the camping trip? And he goes, oh, Christina and their friends. Never mentions her. Never mentions her. He texts me and calls me that day before he leaves, like, hey, we're gonna go, there's not gonna be any cell phone service up where we're going. And I believed that. Usually when I went camping, there's usually not cell phone service. So I believed it. And I had a feeling that she was going, but I wasn't gonna be that insecure girlfriend or fiance. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna Trust him. Okay, I'm gonna trust him. He's supposed to go back Sunday night. I text him, hey, I hope you had a great trip, this and that. And remember, I'm telling you, he's wanting to work shit out. He said, after our camping trip, we're gonna take off on a vacation and we're gonna see if we can reconnect. Okay. So, and by me, we've broken up like 5 times in our relationship, and he's always wheeled me back in. So this last breakup, he's like, no, we'll work on shit, we'll get through it, this and that. Anyways, and remember, right before he took off the camping trip, I spilled my guts. I said, I have a problem with you being a racist. He's like, oh, I'm not racist, I have a black friend. I'm like, using the N-word in a derogatory way, in a racist way, is not funny to me. And he's just like, well, I'm just, like, I just don't like chicks that date black chicks. I'm like, black guys. And I'm like, I've been with 2 black guys. 2 of my exes are back. He's like, oh, I didn't know that. Gross. And I was like, that's not even funny. And he goes, oh, I'm just joking. I'm like, that doesn't sound like he's joking. And, he always used the word black kids as nigglets. I don't think that's funny. He would laugh. He's like, oh, the fucking nigglets over there. I'm like, that's not funny. He's like, well, my black friend uses the word all the time. I said, it's your black friend using it in their black home. I don't think it's right for a white person to use the word niglet. Sorry, that's just my personal opinion. Or anything that starts with N-I-G-G, right? E-R or L-E-T. So, so I don't hear anything back Sunday night. Then Monday night rolls around, nothing again. I get a call from someone that was at the camping trip with them. And they said, I don't know, but Jeff's seeing that girl. Like, they were hooking up on the weekend. So I sent him, so he finally replies back, and I sent him a message saying, hey, how was the trip? I gave him plenty of opportunities to come clean. Who went? Once again, he lied, didn't say who she went. Didn't say. And he's being lovey-dovey, just, like I said, perfect person on text, right? Like everything's good. Like, we're still in a relationship. We're still good. And I sent him the proof. I sent a picture of him grabbing her ass that she posted purposely because she wanted me to see it, which is fine. She can have them. Like, the dick too small, it smells like, have them. It's not a big deal. And so it's like, she's like, this is my prize. He's balding. Like, what do you, he's a drug dealer. Like, he says he's a venture capitalist, which I found out he's not. He makes and sells drugs, which explains why he was able to throw money around all the time and buy me all extravagant stuff. Maybe he was buying me. Maybe he's trying to buy me, right? And I never asked for fucking any of it, just so you know. He always bought me shit. Never asked for any of it. Anyways, so a lot of lies, like, I didn't know he was a full-time drug dealer. I didn't know he was with the cartel and all this other shit. I didn't know any of this, okay? And then I started thinking back. I'm like, oh my God. So I actually think he's been cheating more than 6 months at this point. I don't know if it was with her or with another girl, but he's definitely, I know for a fact, since January, because I saw the sex toy, then the Viagra started missing, pieces of Viagra were coming out, like missing. I never saw any condoms. He doesn't like using condoms, so I made an appointment on Monday to go get STD tested. So let's please pray that I don't have any STD, because we literally fucked right before he left for this trip. And a little nervous that I might have caught something from her. So, because if you look at her Instagram, she's showing, every other picture is her showing her ass. So that's someone that's obviously not classy. She's twerking in front of a guy that's engaged, in a home when her, panties. Obviously, she's not a classy lady, right? And which is weird, because that's one thing he said he always admired about me in public, that I was very classy. But then yet he, likes ratchet, I guess. So, whatever. So I called him out. He was lying about everything, so finally called him out. I sent him the proof, and he kind of admitted, he said, well, I never cheated on you, but her and I have been hanging out, and yes, she is my client, and I didn't mean to hurt you. That was it. Then I kind of popped off and went off like, are you fucking kidding me? I could have cheated way more than he ever could. Okay? Like, look at me. I'm not trying to be conceited, but look at me and look at him. Like, let's be honest. Who you think would get laid more? I would. Okay? And I know a lot of fucking good-looking, successful men. And I could have cheated on him many, many times. And I never did. Even though I never got sexually pleased, I never got held, I wasn't getting cuddled, I wasn't having affection, I wasn't feeling loved, I felt bought, and I felt like a trophy girlfriend. That's exactly what I felt like, a trophy girlfriend, my entire relationship with him. And it's just, I just never thought he would ever cheat. I was so convinced that he is such a master manipulator. Like, he convinced me. He was this amazing gentleman, and he had respect for me. He goes, first of all, if you have respect for someone, he should have told me from the very beginning he has feelings for someone else, or he's fucking someone else. Because right before he left on that trip, I had told him sex needs to change. It needs to get better. You need to learn how to please me. Or, I mean, not so much learn, but just make an effort to please me. You know what I mean? Like, you know where the clit's at. So I told him, I'm like, you know, like, and he's like, oh, yeah, I know, yeah, it'll get better, and this and that, and, you know, we'll reconnect, we'll get on a trip and reconnect that way, and this and that, and it's just, there is a little disconnect, and he should have told me right then and there, Christy, because that's how I would have taken that, and I wouldn't have cried, I would have been like, on my way, it's fine. But when you cheat on someone, that is the most devastating, crushing thing you could ever do, especially in someone of my caliber that's very, very fucking faithful. Very faithful until you're not faithful anymore. If you're not faithful, fucking everything is out. Sorry. But, yeah. So that's pretty much wraps up everything. You guys are probably still wondering, like, what the fuck? For 2 years, you were not happy. You fucked up your money. You didn't go to school. Well, the second year I didn't go to school because that was on me. The second year I didn't go to school because I had to get all these, not transcripts, syllabus from every class that I've ever taken because this university wanted it. And some teachers have died, moved universities, so it was like a fucking Chevy Chase game. So it took a long time to get those. But mainly it was because I wanted to work. So I literally just started working like nonstop the second year of a relationship because I didn't want to be around him anymore because he was so negative and cranky all the time. But yet I still was excited to see him when I finally got to see him. It went from seeing each other every day, you know, like almost every day, just like maybe, you know, to like every other week to every 3 weeks. He went to like that. But the fact is that he led me on, continued to make me believe that we're in a relationship, and he still wanted to marry me. Because I asked him, like recently, I have all the text messages saying, you sure you still want to marry me? And the reason I kept pushing off the wedding is because I always felt like something was never right. So first the wedding was supposed to have been at the end of the year, and then I pushed it to the September, and then I pushed it to this September. Because I felt like women's intuition, man, you just feel like something's not right. Jeff has a lot to work on. He is, I mean, and I'm nowhere, like, I'm not easy to date. Guys shouldn't date me because I'm all about work. I'm all about my education. Those are the 2 top priorities in my life. Everything comes after that. Friends, family, everything does. So I'm not that relationship material. Like, I'm not relationship material. You need to either be on my level, have a real fucking job, career, or work just as much as me, and we'll work it out. Because all the doctors, I got along with the doctors, they work fucking anywhere from 8 to 16-hour days. Yet we had a great relationship. So, you know, you have to he doesn't work. He makes drugs. So 6 days out of the week, he's just sitting at home watching TV. That's it. And I'm fucking every day busting ass, every day answering phone calls, constantly answering emails, going nonstop. That's me. I hustle. Because during the COVID thing, man, I was like, I had like no money. And I had like, I think I had to borrow like 1,000 or 2,000 from Jeff to make COVID. And that's the first time I've actually physically, I think, asked for money. Because before he'd just like give me money here and there, like hide money in my purses, hide money in my house, and like for like, you know, like cute little purposes, right? And every time I visited him, he would give me like all his ones and fives, you know, and that would usually just pay for my gas there and back. But the reason I hung on, it sounds so fucking stupid. You guys are gonna like want to slap me when I tell you this. I hung on because I went to a psychic, and it was the second psychic that told me that he is the one that I'm supposed to marry. And they said that and this psychic told me there's going to be infidelity. And I was like, really? I would never cheat on him. She goes, there's infidelity. I said, what? So he's going to cheat? She goes, I don't know. It just shows that it's infidelity in your relationship. It's going to be, and it's going to be soon. Maybe next year or the year before. A year after, I mean. And for sure, there was infidelity, for sure. So I hung on because of what she said. Our Chinese zodiac signs are mortal enemies. We don't supposed to be together. Our numerology shows that we don't supposed to be together. We had nothing in common. We never traveled together. Every time I traveled for work, I said, come along with me. And he's like, I don't want to go when you're working. Hey, you're acting like I fucking work every hour throughout the whole fucking 24 hours. I don't. He didn't want to do it. So I literally travel the world by myself or with one of my gay friends that's a male escort. Or I would meet up with friends, girlfriends or guy friends, whoever in town I was in, whatever town I was at, I would hit up people, hey, come visit me, come hang out, let's go out for drinks, you know? I literally was single for 2 years and I just had sex and I didn't get off. So that's the relationship. You guys are probably shocked because I don't post about it. I never posted my business until now. So, was I in love with him? The first 3 months, yes, 100%, without doubt. After the 3 months, no, I fell out of love. But, and all my friends know, all my close friends really know that they know. I told them, I confided in them. He was so amazing on text and paper and phone calls that I really tried to make it work because I'm like, wow, he's really a good guy. Like, he's a good guy. But what was good about him? He bought me shit. I got caught up. I think I got caught up in that because when I start looking, like, he physically, not really physically abused me, but, you know, he slapped me up, get off of me and stuff like that. But he used to put me down all the time. All the time. One time I was in front of one of my clients and I was doing his nutritional program, and he like says it in front of my client. He's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh my God. Like, you're telling him all the wrong shit. Meanwhile, my client already lost 20 pounds of fat. Like in 2 months. Like very quickly. And that was really, really fucking embarrassing. Then his friend, when I helped him move into his new place, yes, which just happened a few weeks ago, helped him move into his new place, his friend was there, and I was talking to his friend, and his friend was like, wow, you're really intelligent, you're very smart. And I was like, well, I don't know. And he's like, your IQ must be high. And I said, I don't know about my IQ. I was like, I took it in high school, it was like 137. I know the average IQ is like 80 to 90, so I guess. I never really looked at myself as intelligent. I just worked really fucking hard in school and got a 4.0, and you know, I did long fucking hours to get a 4.0. It wasn't like that shit came naturally. Like, I worked my ass off for it, for my degrees, for my 3 degrees. I have 3 degrees. So I worked my ass off for them. Just so you go. The first 2 was definitely not a 4.0 because I kind of fucked off. But I got those. But my last degree, I was holding a 4.0 all the way up until I met Jeff. But like math, like he would always put me down. Like, he's like, oh, you're so, you know, like, and well, when his friend said, oh my God, you're so smart, you're intelligent, he went like this with his face. What? What did you just tell her? He's like, I said she's very intelligent. He goes, don't fucking tell her that. Don't tell her that. And his friend's like, why? He goes, because she'll get all. And I'm like, I'll get what? And it was just like, it's terrible when someone that you are supposed to be in love with you or you're married to or engaged to puts you down, calls you stupid all the time. Like, I'm sorry, I was trying not to do this. So that hurts. That's actually that hurts the most, besides the deceit, besides the cheating, and him always saying I was stupid and dumb and not intelligent in math. Yeah, I'm not good in math. Big fucking deal. I'm fucking intelligent in a lot of other things. I'm not great in math. But he would always put me down all the time about my intelligence. And we'd never be able to talk about anything because he wanted to argue about everything. When I would try to just tell him my point of view on a diet, he'd be like, you know what the fuck you're talking about. Or we talk about steroid, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. When I talk about chemical compounds, you know what the fuck you're talking about. It would just turn into an argument. So, literally these last 2 years have been complete fucking torture. There was fun times, but way more bad times than there was fun times, that's for sure. And like I said, I just honestly, I hung on because, and it sounds terrible, but even though how bad he treated me at times, it was still better than what I normally got treated by my exes. So it was bad in your guys' eyes, but in my eyes it was good because I've had a lot worse. So, oh my God, I was not going to do this. So, what hurts right now and why I've been just popping off on social media is because literally the deceit. I believed him so much he was faithful. He wasn't. And I want to end with this. I contacted his ex-wife as Melanie. I think her name was, she said her name was Melanie. Yeah, Melanie. And then her kid, it starts with a K, I can't remember. They're Asian. And she told me he was like that right off the bat. Pushed him into the relationship, and then all of a sudden he's asking her to marry her. She said she bounced. She's like, when he got all... So, it's actually a pattern. When his ex-wife, the girlfriend in Canada, the Asian with the blonde hair, she has blonde hair. Melanie, I think her name was. I don't know. He said that he used to call her Melly all the time. So she's like, well, he used to always call me Melly. And her kid didn't like him. She said that he pushed for marriage. So it looks like Jeff is the kind of person that, you know, tries to get good-looking girls and kind of has them as a trophy, like, hey, look at me. He's very insecure about his body. He's a very insecure man, period. So I think having a hot lady next to him makes him feel good, and he buys them literally gifts and gives them money to keep them around. Because honestly, like, if it wasn't for the psychic and all the other shit, I would have left a long time ago. You know, buying me gifts was one of my love... forgot what it's called, but it's like my dad, when I was younger, he used to buy me gifts all the time. So it goes back to childhood. Like, so when someone buys me a gift, I'm like, oh my God, they must really love me. Well, and that with affection too, but I didn't really get that. So this is a pattern he has, and he cheated on his ex, and he cheated on me, and he's gonna cheat on her, and she'll probably cheat on him before he will. She has, the person that went camping with him, they said that she has extreme PTSD. She has zero education. All she does is model. She's on Eros.com, which is an escort site, which is funny because he sits there and talks shit about escorts and prostitutes and session girls all the time, but yet he's dating one. So, weird. So, it's just, he's with someone that's uneducated, that shows her ass on Instagram for likes, buys her followers, and whatever else. You know, she came to Boston, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago or something. She ran from her past, whatever. But, you know, she knew that we were in a relationship and she pursued him anyways. Chris and Christina did tell me, Jeff said that we broke up like a few months ago, which is a big fat fucking lie, because I have all the text messages and the emails. So I think he told Chris and Christina that because she was always coming over to visit. So he made it look like, and if you look on his social media, he hadn't posted a picture of me since November of last year. And you see every month, no matter if him and I took a picture or not, I still posted a picture and talked him up. And if you look, starting in January, he never commented on any of the photos that I tagged him in. And he used to be all about that. As soon as I tagged him, he would be on on my Instagram going, oh, I love you too, and da 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 da, and comment. Since starting January, he stopped commenting on all the photos I post to him. So that means that whoever he was seeing, he didn't want them to see that he was commenting on my profile anymore. And he unfollowed me, right? So he was having his cake and eat it too. And he was gonna follow, he was gonna keep doing this and prolong this until I called him out, because he was acting like everything was fine, nothing was good, and like nothing was bad, right? So he was actually gonna keep playing me. And I literally got fucking played. The first time in my life I got played because, well, second time. First time was years and years ago. Learned my lesson and I looked for red flags. This guy, I didn't look for red flags. I mean, there was red flags, but I didn't see them because I was so like about like just, you know, work and everything. And I didn't really focus on being insecure because I'm not an insecure person. You know what I mean? And whenever he hung out with a girl, I didn't go on her Instagram and look. I only did it when I noticed some ratchet shit going on. She's shaking her fucking flat ass, you know? So, you know, he's bipolar, she's, you know, PTSD, extreme PTSD. I think they're gonna make an amazing couple. They both seem to like cocaine, and she doesn't have an education. He doesn't want to have a career, a real career. So I think they're gonna make a really good couple, and I do wish them the best. And I definitely don't want anything to do with him, but I'm happy that you guys are actually watching this video and you kind of understand why I hung on for so long and why I was so hurt. The deceit is the most painful. Even if I'm not in love with someone, deceit is terrible. Even my best friend fucks me over, I'm gonna cry over it, okay? So I literally cried 2 days over Jeff. And it wasn't really about crying about him. It was what he did, the deceit of leading me on, pretending that we're still together while he was fucking other girls or just one girl. I'm not sure how many girls, who knows? But I guess I'll find out on Monday, my STD test, huh? But all in all, I really thought he was a really good person. I really did. Because remember, I hadn't got anything better than that. So like, you know, if you get something better than the shitty, if you've been treated shitty by men your entire life because you give your whole heart, and all of a sudden someone treats you a little less shitty, you think, well, they're fucking God, right? And I told him, I sat him down, you know, a few weeks ago, and I said, I'm having pure thoughts. I'm having thoughts about, you know, other men. And I said, I don't want to act on my desires, but you're not sexually pleasing me, and it makes me want to seek it somewhere else. I told him that a few weeks ago, or a month ago. I think it was a few weeks ago, or a month ago, maybe it was a month ago or something. I can't remember. But I sat him down. I wasn't shady at all. I could have kept my mouth shut and acted on my desires like he did, and I didn't. I sat him down and I told him over FaceTime, this is what's going on in my life, and this is how I feel, and I feel I'm already cheating on you. In my mind, I'm already cheating on you. And I don't want that to happen. I want us to fix it or let me go. And he wouldn't let me go. He wouldn't let me go. He kept begging to keep us together. Anyways, so engagement's over. I am done getting engaged. It's the second Boston guy I got engaged to, and they were both fucked up. So no more, I need to stop saying yes, first of all. And number two, I need to stop allowing men to come at me. Because every time a guy comes at me, I go, okay, I'll give it a try. I need to pick the guys. If I'm planning to see another man, I'm going to pick him. And actually, so funny because before this all happened, my ex, the guy that I was seeing, the doctor, he actually hit me up right a day before all the shit hit the fan here. So it's kind of crazy. So we've been talking as friends, and I told him, I said, I'm not willing to get into any relationship right now, but we'll hang out. We go boating together. We go to he's like, let's go to Florida. He has a house in Florida, and he has a house in Connecticut and New York. So yeah, we hang out, and we're taking things very slow because I am not about to jump in another fucking relationship. I said, I'm not going to date for at least a year or two. So, and he's like, I am totally fine with that. You're worth as long as I can work. And that gives us a good time to actually get to know each other and see if we're actually like a couple, right? So, but I am sure the fuck not ready to fuck anybody new or date anybody new. Just hanging out as friends. And, because I'm the... Anyways, thanks you guys for watching. I love you all, and thank you for all you guys for your support. And guys, just because I'm single doesn't mean you're gonna start fucking blowing my inbox up asking me to go out on dates. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go. I don't want to go on any dates. I don't want to date any money. If I wanted to, I'd do it. I don't want to do it. So don't hit me up and DM me, okay? Love you guys. Bye.